Liverpool choosing Iraola over Xabi Alonso would not be about disrespecting a legend, it would be about risk, rhythm and fit. Alonso had the bigger name, but Liverpool needed a manager for this squad, this league and this reset. The clues start with one quiet call to Madrid before anything.
Hey fam, this is your chance to build the jersey collection you've been waiting for. The Goal 90 bundle deal is live. Buy 2 jerseys and get 10% off. Buy 3 and get 15% off. Buy 4 and get a massive 25% off. Club kits, country kits, retro classics, pick your favourites and save big. And yes, every order comes with free worldwide shipping. The deal runs only until the end of May. Goal 90 bundle deal. Buy more, save more. Shop now at Goal 90 Shop.
Number 1. Liverpool called Real Madrid. AS reported that Liverpool contacted Real Madrid to ask about Xabi Alonso's work at Valdebebas. The report did not prove that Liverpool were told, "Do not hire him," but it did say Liverpool had doubts and that the call was part of a wider fact-finding process before making a major decision. When a club already trusts a candidate completely, it does not need to ask around for reassurance. Alonso's time at Real Madrid carried uncomfortable noise around senior players. Again, Liverpool could not treat every rumour as fact, but they could ask a very simple question. If Alonso found it difficult to keep Madrid stars fully aligned, what happens at Anfield? Liverpool's squad still had its own powerful voices. Mohamed Salah may no longer be there, but Virgil van Dijk is not just another defender and Alisson is not just another goalkeeper. Both remain senior figures who set the tone inside the dressing room. Then come the major investments: Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, Dominik Szoboszlai, Ryan Gravenberch and potentially Hugo Ekitike, competing for space, status and minutes in the attack. That is where the Alonso question becomes sharper. If he already faced tension around roles at Madrid, could Liverpool risk a similar problem with a squad full of expensive signings and players expecting to be central? Liverpool may have looked at Alonso and seen genius, pedigree and huge upside, but they may also have seen a manager whose most recent big club test came with dressing room questions. Iraola, by contrast, did not arrive with that same political baggage. Number 2. Premier League rhythm favoured Iraola. The second reason is rhythm. Xabi Alonso was available and he had a much bigger managerial headline because of what he did at Bayer Leverkusen. But Liverpool were not hiring a manager for a theoretical football project. They were hiring someone for the Premier League, where every week feels like a war. Iraola already understood that rhythm. He knew what it meant to prepare for a low block one week, a physical away match the next, and a top 6 pressing battle after that. He knew the travel, the speed, the refereeing, the weather, the tight turnarounds, the emotional pressure, and the way even mid-table sides can punish one's soft performance. At Liverpool, the margin is tiny. At Anfield, a manager is judged not just by his best football, but by how quickly he solves the ugly games. Can he handle away matches when the ball keeps coming long? Can he handle Fulham when the game becomes second balls and set pieces? Can he handle Newcastle when the match turns into duels? Can he rotate without losing intensity? Iraola's Bournemouth gave Liverpool a direct Premier League sample. They could see how his team pressed. They could see how his team reacted after losing the ball. They could see how his players handled bigger opponents. They could see how his football translated to English speed, not just European theory. Alonso had elite ideas, but Iraola had recent evidence in the same league against the same type of problems Liverpool face every week. For a club trying to move quickly after slot, that mattered. Number 3. Iraola's pressing identity. The third reason is identity. Liverpool's best modern era was built on gegenpressing, not slow pressure, not passive control, real pressure. The kind that turns a loose touch into panic, a sideways pass into a trap, and a normal away game into chaos. That is why Iraola made sense. His Bournemouth side became one of the most aggressive pressing teams in the league. Premier League analysis described them as fast, energetic, hostile, and built around huge effort levels in and out of possession. Opta's analysis also pointed to Bournemouth's low PPDA, high turnovers, and direct attacking patterns. That sounds very Liverpool. The point is not that Iraola is a copy of Jurgen Klopp. He is not. His structure is different, his build-up is different, and his Bournemouth side had its own identity. But emotionally and physically, his football speaks the same language Liverpool fans understand. Win the ball, attack quickly, run again, press again, make the opponent uncomfortable. That is the part Alonso may not have matched as cleanly. Alonso is associated more with control, spacing, build-up, and positional structure. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, it can be brilliant, but after Slot, Liverpool may have wanted a coach who made the team feel sharper, louder, and more aggressive again. Iraola offered that. He did not promise calm possession for the sake of it. He promised discomfort, he promised speed, he promised a team that could hunt. For Liverpool, that may have felt closer to the club's natural pulse. Number 4. Richard Hughes knew the details. The fourth reason is Richard Hughes, Liverpool's current sporting director. This part might seem simple, but important. Liverpool would not be judging Iraola from YouTube clips or public stats alone. Richard Hughes already knew him from Bournemouth. The Guardian reported that Hughes was a driving force behind Iraola's appointment there, and Iraola himself spoke about their strong connection. That gives Liverpool something they could not get from a normal interview process. They already had someone inside the building who knew how Iraola really worked. Not just his formations, not just his press conferences, his daily habits, his training demands, his communication style, his recruitment preferences, his reaction to bad results, his ability to survive pressure when the early results are not pretty. That is valuable. Hiring a manager is always a risk, but clubs try to reduce that risk by collecting information. With Iraola, Hughes could offer more than opinion. He had lived evidence. He knew whether Iraola could work inside a modern structure. He knew whether Iraola would accept recruitment collaboration. He knew whether Iraola needed total control or could fit into Liverpool's football department. That matters because Liverpool are not built like an old-school manager kingdom. They are built around sporting directors' data, recruitment planning, and long-term squad building. In that environment, familiarity is not laziness, it is intelligence. Xabi Alonso may have been the more glamorous name, but Hughes may have given Iraola something even more useful: trust based on direct experience. Number 5. Relentless training raised the ceiling. This may be the point Liverpool liked most. Iraola's football does not happen by accident. Antoine Semenyo gave a revealing insight into that shift. When Iraola arrived, Bournemouth had to adapt to a much tougher schedule. The players were no longer living in a comfortable rhythm of regular days off. They trained after matches. Even starters were expected to work through intense sessions when their legs were heavy. That explains the football. Bournemouth played with effort because they were conditioned for effort. They pressed because they rehearsed pressing. They reacted quickly because reaction became habit. They ran late in games because the training ground had already demanded that level. For Liverpool, this could have been massive. After a disappointing season, the club did not just need a new tactical shape. They needed standards. They needed daily pressure. They needed the feeling that every session had consequences. Iraola could offer that. He is not just a match-day strategist, he is a coach who builds behaviour through work. If Liverpool wanted their aggression back, their running power back, and their edge back, Iraola's training culture may have been the strongest argument of all. Alonso had the aura, Iraola had the grind, and sometimes after a season where intensity drops, the grind is exactly what a giant club needs. So this would not be Iraola beating Alonso on glamour. Alonso wins that battle easily. It would be Liverpool choosing sharper evidence, Premier League speed, pressing identity, internal trust, and brutal daily standards. If Anfield wanted its edge back, Iraola looked less like a gamble and more like a reset. Give a like, subscribe, and watch the next video on your screen. See you there.